Hey everyone, so I'm going to just do a little bit of channeling right now and try to channel some information or relay some information that I picked up before. So what I was doing in my channeling session was I just wanted to start like a channeling session, and I was remembering some of the tasks that I had and in the importance of those and the people that could help me with them. And the tasks revolve around quantum grammar, contracts, uh, like quantum contracts, but the word contract was actually a contract, like a corrupt track, a trick track. The quantum, navigating through the quantum on the contracts, actually something that we've done for a long time. We've done it in previous civilizations. We do it off the 3D lineal time perceived reality, and outside of the physical mass embodiments that we have here. There is technology already available on Earth that has been used previously. It's ancient technology that has been used to create a body like ours. It's printed off, and when these bodies are printed off, then we can leave those embodiments here and travel through these contracts quite easily using a mathematical program, a quantum computer program portal. We need to have our soul scrolls to do this, a postmaster pass, like these, or have our like mass of weights like equaled out. So for example, for people that use these quantum stuff all the time, the ones that have created global debt, for them to as a collective to equal that out, they would have to wipe the global debt and also hand over the keys. So they've got keys that are being used for the contracts too. Now, I've got some information about how to write these and stuff like that, and I'll share them with the information that I know. And it's like so if you go by the laws or the rules that have been set out in Egypt from Mata, so it's like, her name's not Mayat, it's Mata. So if you go from the right, and it's M-A, and then you go from the left, you go from the left, M-A, and then you go to the far right, and it's T-A, and then you put your, like, I'm not sure what it's called, your hyphen up the top or whatever that little line is from the top. And so that has its divine imprint code of where you are, or that's the equilibrium of the mass that you're doing on that part or that line. So say if you were you're putting like something in, like something that you wanted to be delivered up. So I can only think of really big examples at the moment, but say if you're involved in like putting human food from tortured children in perfume or in food, and the masses didn't know about it, and you decided to offer that up as a weight, and you were stopping that, and you were like ending that, so you liberated everyone from that. So that would be the weight of the action, which is very, very heavy, and then the weight of the action, or what's delivered from that as a collective. So it's written as like a circle, and then like that deed action weight is inside that, and then on the next line it will be like so the circle of the mass, and then the circle of what is being offered up, and then you go down the bottom and it's divided by the collective, and that's how much the collective's like individual part will be delivered by. So 33 degree Freemasons, for example, they're 33 degrees below where they're meant to be able to travel freely, or maybe it's weighted above because it's a heavy mass, so it could be weighted as and above mass. Once you get to 0 point and below, you can travel through like the 0 point field. So it's like the gravity in between atoms. You can like travel. Anyway, it's the reason why everything is shown in spheres as well, like we have the global world stuff and all that, is to remind us that on this plateau we have to take into consideration as above so below in a mathematical context. So when you're wanting to navigate and move through the realms and the quantum field and everything like that, this is how you do it. You have to take into consideration the mathematical equation of actions on an energy level. Okay, so anyone that has studied quantum grammar or is interested in it or knows anything about the postmasters or the spell words, remember that our word is our word is our wand, and there's actually a book written way back when that talks about the power of our spoken words. And this lady actually wrote a few, and they're really, really good. And the other one that's really important too, the law of Ra, or the law of one. There's a heap of really important stuff from, I don't know if important is a correct word to use, from like the Palladian Council, for example. Lyrans, always there to help us and everything like that too. The Tallgrays are hugely important at the moment. And of course our angel incarnations and our angel families. So for any of you guys that are lucky enough to be around Palladians at the moment, or high vibrational people, I know that a lot of the males, not all, but a lot of them are more grounded, and there's women too that are very much grounded in their energy, which makes it really, really good balance for us high vibers. But know that we are so high vibration that as much as it helps us to be around you, you really need to be coming from a place of like understanding as you're listening and resonating with what we are getting as divine messages and connection points with our higher beings from higher realms. We have our direct DNA, our complete DNA in higher evolutions all the way up to the heavens. And so we do have Palladian self counterparts. We do have Lyran self counterparts. Not all of us have all. Some of us are new souls and we are just going through our first cycles, like the Draconians. They don't have that many upper counterparts. Some do, not all. So, but as a part of the experience that we're going through right now, we are going through evolution points with some of those beings and star family groups that have been harmful to a lot of humanity, and we are liberating through that. It's also a time of peace and conflict resolution and understanding and compassion as older brothers and sisters for those of us who've been around a lot longer, to be tolerant and respectful and help continue up the path. Saying that, you wouldn't let a swarm of ants continuously bite your child to death and say, oh, but they're just evolving. So, you'd brush the ants or blow them off your child as quick as possible and, pick your kid up and put it on your hip. You'd rather walk through a swarm of ants yourself and get bitten on your legs and ankles than let your baby get bitten once. And that goes for any baby. I don't know many people that would see babies on an ant's nest and not run over and help that baby. So I think that that it's really important that we exercise our compassion, our tolerance, understanding, and do this as a collective of humanity, all different beings going through different experiences. Even if we're doing this at home by ourselves, I can have love and compassion for every being on earth from here, because I'm not worrying about the ego reality of someone having a different point of view from me about something that's trivial or really important. Because above all that, these are all different experiences and everyone's got their own viewpoints and perceptions, and you've got to be tolerant of that too, understanding, compassionate. And so I think that as you go through this journey and experience, connecting to your higher self, your highest guides are really important. Remember that we have We have the right to choose our own counsel. That means that you sit down, you write it on a piece of paper, you tattoo it on your bloody arm if you have to, or just write it with a pen or pencil on. Sometimes I cover my whole body and stuff I've written, or just like on a piece of paper, or you can stick it on your wall or whatever. Of who are your chosen counsel, who's important to you. It could be your angel guides, it could be your higher self, it could be Mother, Father, God, it could be the trees, the council trees. I love trees, they're 10th dimensional. It could be Yowies, it could be like council of children, like animal spirits, the Palladian councils, the tall greys. It could be Azatar, it could be Galactic Federation military. Remember that the Galactic Codex has relevance too when it comes to the quantum, because that is the law that or guidelines that the Galactic Federation military and many of our protectors are able to travel on using those guidelines. So they're able to fight for us with their light forces and stuff like that. And many of us are actually working for Galactic Federation military. Many of us are actually working for Azatar. And we're just waking up and remembering, for some of us, what our roles are, what we do when we're asleep. Some of us are so asleep, and we do so much work between being a human asleep on this experience, not realizing what we're actually doing, to the angel work that we're doing above and connecting both those points. Anyway, we've got mass work to do, guys, on mass levels. There's ley lines all over the world. There's pyramid sites all over the world. If you know anything about remote viewing, or you're interested in it, have a look at Farsight Institute's YouTube channel. Their last video shows the evacuation plan before the polar shift that we're about to go through, that we need to do. That's our job as a collective. We're not waiting for world leaders that have done nothing for us, which, mind you, I can go into this later, that isn't completely their fault, because they were tricked into doing these quantum contracts. They actually had their brain data scanned, put into other bodies, and then their souls trapped. And so that's not even them. That a lot of our leaders are actually vessels, meat biological vessels with energy inside them, but they're running on a computer program. So they can become very psychotic, very violent, and just they're not actually their souls. So that's something that I've been working on fixing as well. But saying that, I've done all the energy work and all of that of these things, and they can be manifested into physical matter. Guys, we are way more powerful. We are creator beings. We are so bloody amazing. Don't doubt for 1 second what you're capable of doing, what you can actually achieve here. You can be an astronaut, you can be prime minister, but you can do things inside yourself, like move mountains. You can tap a stick on the ground and grow a mountain in front of you. There is no amount of limitation to what you can do if you're acting in divine, like coming from a divine point, a place of compassion, love, purity. If you want to know the secret to immortality, find a purpose in divinity, and divinity will find a purpose in you. So if you're working your divine path, your chosen path, you're not going to age, you're not going to, you're going to be always divinely protected, because you're working in this God light, this highest heaven energy, the highest point of the quantum that will always lift up. Like you can't fumble that, you can't fail that. Even if on your ego level you crash because you do some really horrible stuff for a really long time and you find your lowest point, your rock bottom, as long as you are walking in that divine light and following that path, you're always going to be lifted up and being able to continue. So that's where the free choice and the free will comes in. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We have these soul scrolls, we have these golden contracts that are written, these contracts, that are written divinely way above, and each, like everywhere, has these all the way up to the highest heaven. So it's like a navigation point. It gets a lot easier to explain and comprehend when we are actually at a point where our brains can remember all of this, because at the moment we've got this human way of thinking and stuff like this. And then we've got the Palladian, well, for many of us it's like Palladian, Arcturian, and all these activations are happening, and our brains are highly evolved and we only use a small part of it, but we're starting to activate all the other parts too. So as they all start to become in sync and regulate and actually work correctly, we are going to be able to remember and process and do a lot more stuff very quickly, way quicker than we could comprehend right now, and just get it all done. So everyone, wake up. My higher self also came through with a message months ago too, saying, why aren't we doing the ascension herbs? She was shocked when she found out that some of the ascension herbs are criminalized in some places. But guys, have a look at ascension herbs. Have a look at one other thing that can help too, if you don't have access to ascension herbs or you're skeptical about doing it, get water. Get a glass of water, preferably fluoride free. Living water is great if it's out of a river and it's just been filtered, like a non-polluted river. But anyway, you get your water, and even if it has fluoride in it, like, you get your cup of water, you sit it in the sun, get your favorite crystal, put your crystal in there, let it recharge. You can do it without the crystal too, just leaving it in the sunlight, preferably in glass. You sit it in the sunlight, let it do its thing. The sun will put some powerful rays and healing into that water too. And if you're using a high vibrational crystal, like, well, you'd say if you're using anyway, just using a high vibration crystal like a quartz or something like that, you're going to be able to really lift up the frequencies of your being and your energy body. Stay away from dairy products, guys, because unless you leave that baby cow with the mum and they're happy and they're not being slaughtered, sacrificed and separated, you are going to be carrying the density of the pain and suffering of that mother mourning for her child in your light body, your energy body, and that affects your ascension abilities. There is milk around the world. For example, in Australia we have one called Mother Cow Milk. They have a century. They leave all the cows and the babies with the mums. They just milk the mums after the babies have already had their feed. They don't force breed them. The mums, the dads, the babies, the grandparent cows, they're all safe for life. Their life's protected. Now, this milk is a milk that you can drink without putting weight on your energy body. It comes from a place of love, kindness, understanding, and compassion. And they're very, very earthing, grounding, but very powerful and uplifting too. So that's one way of skipping over that. Of course, vegan eating is really important. Organic food is very, very important. Like just drinking water. A lot of people are fasting at the moment too. Meat is dense. Unless you're going and you're sacrificing that animal yourself and it dies very, very quickly, and you're being very respectful and you do your ceremonies and everything after it, and you ask the animal spirit, if you ask the animal spirit, do you want to ascend now? Is this okay? Ask the tree before you pick the fruit off it. Go stand under the tree, put your hand on it and feel for the answer. Can I have this piece of fruit? I might say, no, don't eat this one. Eat the other one over there. Maybe this piece isn't ripe yet or whatever. This is a part of my culture that my people have done since day dot in the Eora Nations, was that we communicated with the trees. We evolved with them. It's a part of the reptilian line. Guys, it's really, 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 really important that we center ourselves, or we can connect. A tree, a plant, remember, these are 10th dimensional. We really, really have to work together, guys, or solo, but just know that you've got the support of all your highest guides and stuff like that, and they're all there. Check out Rosalie Moore's MUIR YouTube channel. She's amazing. She does some great Isis channeling and stuff. I mean, I was a high priestess in Lemuria. These things like the Lemurian evolution or elevation, gravitation plates are really important too. These plateaus are energy plates. As a collective, we all step on it, or some of us can step on it, and we can lift that vibration up and down and up and down, and it's then